You just shook a stranger's hand. Now watch what your body does next. Without thinking, you brought that same hand up near your face. You didn't plan it. You didn't notice it, but you smelled them. That sounds absurd. It isn't. It's science. And by the end of this, you'll never shake a hand the same way again. Here's the promise. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn why a gesture that takes less than 2 seconds has survived every culture, every war, every generation of human contact for thousands of years. You'll learn what your hand is actually doing when it meets another hand. And you'll understand why deep down you already trust or distrust someone before they've said a single word. Start with the obvious question. Why a hand? Why not a bow? Why not a nod? The answer stretches back further than most people assume. Ancient Greek pottery from the 5th century BCE shows warriors clasping hands, not in friendship but in negotiation. A hand held out flat and empty proves something simple. No weapon, no blade, no hidden dagger up the sleeve. The handshake wasn't born from warmth. It was born from fear. Think about that for a second. One of the most common gestures of trust on the planet began as a safety check. But here's where it gets strange. If the handshake was only ever about proving you're unarmed, it should have disappeared the moment weapons got hidden in pockets instead of hands. It didn't disappear. It spread. It became formal. It became ritual. Something else was happening underneath the surface, something your ancestors couldn't explain but somehow already understood. This is where the story gets interesting. In 2015, researchers at the Weizmann Institute of Science quietly filmed hundreds of people shaking hands in a waiting room. Nobody knew they were being watched. What the footage showed was almost too strange to believe. After nearly every handshake, people raised their right hand toward their face, not always fully. Sometimes just a brush near the nose. The team, led by neuroscientist Noam Sobel, discovered that people were unconsciously sampling chemical signals left behind on the skin. In plain terms, you were sniffing the stranger you just met. Not because you're unusual, because you're human. Your nose was gathering information your conscious mind never asked for. This is the moment everything shifts. You didn't invent the handshake to be polite. Your ancestors built it generation after generation as a covert biological handoff. A few seconds of skin contact became a chemical interview. Are you safe? Are you healthy? Are you someone worth trusting? Your body was answering these questions long before your brain finished the sentence. Nice to meet you. 3 minutes from now, you'll understand why some handshakes feel instantly wrong, and you won't be able to unknow it. Let's slow down for a moment, because there's a second layer hiding underneath the chemistry. It isn't just about smell. It's about rhythm. Psychologist Frank Bernieri, who has spent decades studying interpersonal synchrony, found something remarkable in how strangers move together during first encounters. When two people fall into matching rhythm, mirroring posture, timing their gestures, even sensing their breathing without noticing, they report liking each other more. A handshake is one of the fastest ways two bodies can synchronize. Same grip pressure, same duration, same release. For 2 seconds, two strangers move as one system. That's not a metaphor. That's measurable. Your ancestors around a fire, meeting a traveler from another tribe, weren't shaking hands to be friendly. They were sensing biological rhythm with a potential threat in real time to figure out in seconds whether this stranger belonged near their children. Now here's the twist, the part that flips everything you just learned. You'd assume a firm handshake simply signals confidence. Most people believe that. It's repeated constantly in career advice, in etiquette guides, in interview prep videos. But researcher Greg Stewart, at the University of Iowa, ran a study tracking job applicants through real interviews and found something the confidence myth doesn't explain. It wasn't grip strength that predicted who got hired. It was consistency. Applicants whose handshake matched their overall presence, calm hands from calm people, energetic hands from energetic people, were rated as more hireable than applicants who forced an artificially strong grip. In other words, your hand isn't performing confidence. It's leaking the truth about you, whether you want it to or not. Sit with that. The handshake you thought was a social nicety is actually one of the most honest signals your body sends. You can control your words. You can control your facial expression, at least partially. But that 2-second window of pressure, timing, and unconscious scent sampling is far harder to fake. This is why a bad handshake feels wrong even when you can't say why. Your conscious mind heard, "Nice to meet you." Your older, faster system was already running a background check. Think about the handshakes you remember. Not the good ones, the bad ones. The one that lingered a half second too long. The one that felt limp and distracted. The one that gripped too hard, like it was trying to win something. You didn't need language to know something was off. Your ancestors' oldest detection system was still online, still working, still filing a verdict before your brain caught up. And this explains something else. Why the handshake never died, even in a world full of contactless everything. Video calls, text messages, apps that let you avoid human contact entirely. And yet, the moment two people finally meet in person, the hand still goes out, because no amount of digital communication can replace 2 seconds of chemical, physical, synchronized truth-telling. Now bring this back to your own life. The next time you shake someone's hand, notice what your body does right after. Notice if your hand drifts even slightly toward your face. You probably won't be able to stop it. That's the point. It was never a choice. It's a few thousand years of instinct, compressed into a single gesture, still running quietly underneath a habit you thought was nothing more than manners. You just shook a stranger's hand, and somewhere beneath your awareness, your body already decided whether to trust them.